Coach Todd Yeagley, I'll take your questions.
What does 200 wins mean to you here at IU? And did you know about it before?
I did know, Austin. I was actually confused. I told the players, like, didn't we do this at Virginia? Like, no, at Indiana. I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I didn't know. Austin does a good job of, like, keeping things, you know. It was obviously more fun not knowing. And I don't look at I don't look at numbers. It's obviously, I just don't. So, but it's fun. I really appreciate the guys. You know, we had a fun time in the locker room, so it was fun.
Asked us to Sammy about a celebration coming up, hugs you, said he had a conversation with you, I guess, like, maybe not too much detail, but what did you talk to him, and then what did it mean when he, you know, embraced that?
Yeah, we just had a good talk and a half. And we have a pretty deep relationship, and it was just one of those, like, a halftime emotional, and I won't necessarily get into details, but it was just one that it was a positive pump up / let's go. If we kind of put both, kind of sandwich some concepts into that talk, and he was, I think he was fired up, but yet also really kind of appreciative of kind of how that I can help him get into on track, and so it was a real emotional kind of moment, which was fun to have.
Coach, Sam called you humble. You called Maloon Mr. November last year. Is it time to call yourself Mr. October?
I don't know about. I like October. It's been good to us. I do. I want to keep November and December though good too. So yeah, it's just fun to see the team, you know, always getting better. And I mean that's kind of always what I'm proud of, is the team gets better as the year goes on. I think every team we've had for the most part has found new ways to improve, or new players have emerged to help us. That's part of it too, is that you kind of have to let some of that happen, and it takes maybe a month or so to get it going. So, you know, I appreciate that comment, but yeah, our guys have a lot of pride too. So when it comes, not that they're not focused and ready to go in September and August, it's just there's just another sense of urgency, and they're paying attention. They're coachable, and that's what's awesome about it. Like when we do video, we do things in the training field, like they want it, they want to win. So we're just part of the process with them.
Justin just tabbed Jack Wagner as one of the most humble, or one of the most hardworking players on the team, underrated. What was his performance like for you in the midfield?
I thought Jack had an excellent game, and Justin is right. He does a lot of little things, and even the last 10 minutes when we obviously were in a deeper shape, Jack's verbal cues, his little awareness, things that, you know, whether it's a reminder on when to step or no foul or where to go with the ball, he's that guy. He's a coach in the field, and we really appreciate what he brings, and obviously Justin appreciates it.
With the penalty that you guys had, it looked like Tommy was going to go up and take the ball, and then after the review, Patrick got it. Kind of what was the thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Lamelli's, I should have given him a second game ball. We chatted, and he's like, I think Patty's penalty today could help, and the way that where he goes and what he wants to do didn't necessarily match. And so we brought him together and said, Patty, what do you think? And he's like, and Tommy was right there. He's like, yeah, like Tommy handled it amazing. He's like, yeah, Pat's on. And it was a well-scouted, well-executed penalty by Pat and Christian Lamelli. So great job by both of them.
I want to go more into that penalty, the delays on the reviews. Obviously, you expanded review, which I think a lot of people wanted, but in professional, they stop it right away. Are you okay with them going back 4, 5, 6 minutes later doing and looking at reviews like they did with MSU's, or would you wish they would stop it quicker when they're
I was surprised they waited that long, but there's not necessarily a hard and fast rule on that. I think all the officials are still learning, you know, the nuances of it, and they also do different leagues, and some of those rules might be different. So, I mean, I always want the call to get right. I haven't looked at it. If he went back and saw it, then it's a penalty. I mean, it's obviously a little subjective, the handball, and did the arm play the ball play the hand, or where was it? Patty said his arms were just kind of here, and he kind of leaned in, but, you know, you can't, your shoulder, you can't move it. I mean, you can't pull it any closer. So, I mean, shoulder to me, if it is not a handball when it's next to your body, even though you might lean into it to kind of block a shot. So that's kind of what it looked like. So I was surprised, but I haven't seen it. And he's a good referee, and you know, luckily it wasn't the difference in the game. That would have been a shame if it would have been the difference in the game. But you know, we got a penalty tonight. That was our first one in the Big Ten season. I think we were one of only 1 or 2 teams that hadn't had a penalty call for us in the Big Ten play. So it was nice.
prior to the last 2 games, I guess, Justin, he's helped out in many ways. Now he's got 3 goals in 2 games. How big is that for him and confidence going forward?
Yeah, he's feeling really good. I mean, it was just a big relief, and you know, it's all his own pressure. He's a real focused, hardworking. Like, I need to do it for the team. It's not the numbers. Like, I'm letting the team down. I came here to help us win, and part of my job is to score some goals, and he's not doing that. Even though he was doing some other things really well for us, in his mind, he wasn't fulfilling that. And we didn't necessarily agree with that with him. We told him, we said, you're a little hard on yourself. You're doing all these things well. As long as we're scoring with other guys, you know, keep bringing those other qualities. Don't let those slip because you're disappointed with your goal scoring. So we got him also closer to goal in a couple of restarts, and I want to give Kevin Robeson a lot of credit. He was like, let's move a couple people, let's get him a little closer on a couple of runs. Because you're always like kind of Peter to Paul. You steal him from another spot where he's going to help us on a restart, but you also put him closer to goal, and that's been really helpful. So I thought really good job with Kevin, kind of putting Justin in a closer goal scoring position on a restart.
Justin might have hinted at something tomorrow that you guys might be taking a part of. I'm not entirely sure what, but I guess just what's the excitement for that to be able to represent on national TV?
Yeah, I mean, for Fox to ask, Indiana soccer segment's going to be pretty cool. And Rob Stone is someone I've known a long time because he covered MLS in his early years, and we got to know him, and obviously he's going on, and he's the top talent, as you guys know, in Fox. As you guys are in that industry, you sure appreciate he's a pro, but he played soccer at Colgate. He's a soccer guy, and he won the Jerry Yeagley Award last year at our coaches convention, which he was very proud of, and he also said some things at our 50th on video. So he's a big fan of our program, and it's cool that he and the Fox crew wanted to kind of give some love. So I think the players will be there, some staff. I'm not sure exactly what, but we'll have some fun with the noon show.
Elliot, another goal off the long throw. How much emphasis is being put on that in practice? Go back a few years. Nick Sessa kind of had the same long throw success. How much time are you putting into those in practice?
Yeah, it's you don't want to get super combative on those because when you're slipping, you might hit a head. So you just want to sometimes do it unopposed. It's really where's the finishing runs, the timing, the distance that he can. Basically, you're trying to always manage the distance. Which target are we to go to? Sometimes we run 2, sometimes we run 1 to kind of create confusion for the opponent. And then it's obviously just getting onto a second ball, and it's just another way to get a goal when the game is not. It's harder to it's hard to score goals in our sport, right? And we're not a team that's just going to launch balls in the box like from minute 1 to the 90. So it's just a different way, and we have some short variations from it that I think we're effective with. So the more we go long, it sets up some other things that we might do based on the opponent. So yeah, it's been good to have our long throw effective.
Wanted to ask you something that came out today that has nothing to do with the game, but the Big Ten tournament being announced today, not being at host sites anymore, but at a central location. How do you feel about that?
Well, the Big Ten has to make decisions. Whether we agree or disagree is irrelevant. I do know the final is at the highest seed remaining. So I think what I wanted as a coach and being part of the Big Ten a long time is some of these atmospheres that we saw. I mean, even losing at Rutgers, although that was tough, that was a great atmosphere. And Rutgers did an amazing job putting that. That was their first Big Ten championship they've won since they've joined the conference, I believe, Austin, right, of any sport. Although we're disappointed today, it was also kind of a cool moment for the Big Ten. So we'll get that in the final. The quarters are also great home games, so we're going to miss a little of that. Pageantry, I thought our Michigan game was amazing last year, as you guys remember. And the Big Ten final, of course, with Penn State. Obviously, Wisconsin game was good. So it's what it is. The final will be at whatever's the highest seed remaining of who's left. I just think it's going to be so hard. What 7 teams are going to make it? I mean, I was like, this is a little unfair to our conference because we are a deeper conference than 7 teams making the conference tournament. But that was another decision that was not, I wouldn't say I would have agreed with.
Do you believe that it robs you of kind of the NCAA tournament-like atmosphere since every game's by a host team?
Well, yeah, I do think it helps with that because, yeah, you're traveling, you're not playing neutral. And obviously other sports, you might play neutral. And I get the proximity, the logistics, if you're hosting a football game or basketball, there's so many things we'll have to deal with, right? But again, it's a challenge you hope you can kind of overcome. overcome and figure out. But there are some things that get really hard at some schools to have a match play at the same time as, let's say, a college basketball game with parking and people. So I get it. A lot of tough decisions, but it doesn't prepare you as well as you would going on the road in the tournament in a hostile environment. So hopefully we can get to a Big Ten final, and that could be us at home, could be on the road, but it will be great. We've been able to get into a lot of those finals. It does help you for the next phase of the year.
Speaking of support, obviously Hoosier Stereo tonight. Kind of what do you think of the crowd and the support you got?
I tell you, I was worried because there's so much unbelievable stuff going on at our university and athletic department with a football program. I mean, we are just it's so good for all of us. Our recruiting, I mean, we've been able to always do well recruiting, but now we have football raising eyebrows everywhere. It's amazing. Signetti's done an amazing job. I'm excited to watch tomorrow, and obviously our basketball's a lot of excitement. Terry's an amazing job with our women's pro. I mean, there's just a lot going on. It's homecoming. It's a beautiful weekend. I'm like, okay, there's too much going on. Are they going to come to the soccer game? You guys made it, but the crew's a little smaller. But yeah, it's a hard thing for students. I mean, you got to pick and choose, but I do know the students and people that come, they do know they impact the game. They do. It's not. I mean, as every sport, but man, you're right there on the field basically, and our players really appreciate that. So we want to thank the people that came out and chose, men's soccer tonight as their destination.
Still a nice crowd tonight, 2,700.
It's 2,700.
Anything else for Coach?
How are you feeling about heading out to LA next week? You excited? You feel weird that it's a Big Ten game there?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been out there with our program 2 or 3 times. Obviously, an historic game in 2003 when we won the quarterfinal there. They were #1 seed. It was an amazing night. I played there in college at the same location. They've changed locations throughout their time. They went to the track location. Now they're back at the location I played in 1994. We beat them in the regular season. So I am excited. I got a lot of friends out there. I have a lot of respect for UCLA. To me, they're blue blood in our sport. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere. And I know our guys are excited to have a different experience. So it is weird in a way, but it's a game that we would schedule, every 3, 4, 5 years maybe to go west and play a team like UCLA. It's just now it's cooked into our schedule.
Are you going to be showing the guys where you did something cool on that field?
I don't know if I scored or did something cool, but I maybe I can. I can't remember that far back. It was on VHS tape, so who's going to find that? We did win. I remember the day, but yeah, it was. They had great teams. I mean, UCLA has always been loaded, and in particular the years I played, you weren't going pro. We had the best players in America playing college soccer, and a lot of those guys are people you would know and have household names that I was playing against. So that was a fun time.
Anything else for Coach?
You guys might have to road trip it.
Imagine that.
Awesome.